enough that I could double my feature. Spit a rap, teach a class, then I touch on Aaliyah. Bumping in speakers, trouble I'm seeing is nothing, but I'm lusting for the hunger I'm eating. More portions, of course, the force of the speaker, like Porsches when geeking. The source for floorboards getting contorted this weekend. More of a menace, dark thoughts imported like Guinness. Cold flows, polar refrigerator.
All right.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a minute since we talked.
Yeah, I've been good. How about you?
Doing well, man. Been bumping the album. We're loving it, man. It just came out last night.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I saw you guys playing it on the SoundCloud. I think maybe even the day before it came out. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, bumping it. By the way, this is my cousin Oskeeet, 3 E's, DJB in the house on the Sound Table podcast. We appreciate you being on, man. This is great. All day. This is dope, man. So how's it been? How's it feel to have the record out, and what's been your response so far, and how's it been?
Man, it's been great. Honestly, like I haven't dropped a solo project in probably close to 10 years.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of stuff with Ill Effect still. We just released an EP in February called Love Jones, which was all Tone Jones production with a like love theme. It was released on Valentine's Day.
That's right. That was dope.
Thanks. Yeah.
It was EP. It was short. It was only like 4 songs.
Yeah, it was 4 tracks. Last summer we released a full-length album with Ilu, who is a producer who's pretty much just boom bap, but he's also the head of the label Equalize Records that we're on. So it was cool to be able to bounce from like a boom bap joint with the group to more of like a thematic, EP. And then we've released a couple singles, and then just to be able to release my own stuff after like 10 years of just storing it up, still writing, but also like trying to figure out life at the same time. It's been cool. And I mean, the reception's been beyond what I imagined. Like I almost have this sense of guilt because so many people have been hitting me up saying, hey, we like the album, we're listening. And it's like, man, it's mind blowing because you could be anywhere in the world, but instead you're choosing to listen to something that I made. It's so humbling.
That's the best feeling in the world. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you about the production. Like I was just bumping Win or Lose. Like, dude, that beat, like that beats like that, like the boom, because you're talking about boom bap. That's like my forte. I love that shit. But that beat right there, like beats like that. Are you a producer yourself, or does someone else? How does that work? How does your production work?
Man, my production is trash.
I feel you on that, dude. Trust me, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, I chop a lot of soul samples in my spare time, which is few and far between. I've got 3 kids and a career that's crazy outside of music. But I linked up with this guy. His name's First Official. He's from Massachusetts. He's a great dude. He's another educator like me. I'm a principal. He's a math teacher, and he just makes the most soulful boom bap production you've ever heard. And he was actually the catalyst to all this. This was originally going to be called Officially Yours, the album, and it was all going to be First Official production. But nothing ever really sat right. So I had like 17 tracks, and it didn't feel as cohesive as I wanted it to. So I kind of pivoted.
Gotcha. Tell us a little bit about Equal Eye Records to start off. How'd you get hooked up with them? Where are they from? And yeah, because this is somewhat recent, right? That you and Precise have kind of got hooked up with them, right?
Yeah, so Precise and I, he's the other half of Ill Effect. We've been rapping together since 2006, I think. So we go way back. About 6 years ago, he moved to Vermont as his wife had a career opportunity they couldn't pass up. And he linked up with some people in the local hip-hop scene out there. And it's a really local hip-hop scene because they're in Vermont, right?
Yeah,
So,
for real. That's dope,
but, man, there's some really creative cats out there. Ilu and a guy named Rico James were the founders of Equalize Records, and they've got some amazing people on the roster, people that we really connect with. There's one group, the Aztecs, which is lyric and pro, and they really have like a Dilated Peoples type vibe. And so instantly Trevor just connected with them, Trevor Precise, and then I just kind of like rode the tailcoats. I'm like, hey, I rap too, guys. It just worked out, man. I mean, it's really like a an underground West Coast vibe out there, but obviously on the East Coast. And so like the styles just seem to complement each other. We're into the same stuff. Like, so it's really just a perfect marriage.
That's nice. That's nice when, yeah, you can work with like a team that's got kind of the same vision, same interests and all that for sure. It's dope, man. So you said, so the last thing you and Ill Effect put out was that short EP. You said you guys have any like plans to be doing? You guys got any like anything in the works right now, or?
Yeah, we've released a couple singles since then. Nothing crazy, but we have a project that is all first official production. We don't have a title for it or anything, but I know we have 16 tracks ironed out, good to go. I think it's just fine tuning certain aspects and then finding a release date with the label and seeing how we're going to do the rollout. But it's bananas. Precise absolutely killed it. The production is on point, and we have a lot of cut work from our DJ who spends a lot of time with us, DJ Nameless Faceless. So it's just a good comprehensive like view on what Ill Effect is and the type of music we make. And to me, it almost has like a mid 2000s Gangstar vibe to it. It's a cool project.
Mixture, yep.
Love that. That's so dope. Yeah, let's go back to Finally Grown, man. Really dig the album. It's really dope. Let's go back to the production a little bit. Did you get like a lot of different producers on this to kind of come in and give, or did you work with one or two, or how did that work?
So originally, like I said, it was going to be all first. It was going to be all first official, but then Anno Domini, I don't know if you guys are aware of him. He's been doing like leases on like SoundClick since like 02.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Yeah, I've seen that dude for fucking years now.
yeah, he released like a bundle of beats and stuff that all had they're all royalty free. I was like, of course I'll spend $20 for like a gig. So like those were just honestly, they're going to be all loosies, all the stuff I got from him. And I was just going to throw out singles intermittently just to show like, hey, I'm still doing stuff. Ill Effect's still doing stuff. And that's what the last two Ill Effect singles have been. But one track in particular stuck out. It was Summer Dreams. And I got my guy, That Kid Cry from...
on it. I was going to bring him up. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, from Oregon. And he hopped on the song and he came up with this hook that was like exactly what I wanted to do, but that my skill level didn't allow me to do. And from there, I'm like, man, this is a record. Like this needs to be on an album. So I pieced that together. And then I had a couple tracks with Tone Jones that we just didn't use on the Love Jones project. And I really like the vibe. I'd already released the track Right Now as a single before, but it really needed to be an album cut. So it was just all Anno, First Official, who's my favorite producer right now outside of Ilu, and Tone Jones. So it's just 3 producers on it. I wanted to keep it as tight as I could. Not trying to do an Illmatic where, I have like 8 different producers on a 10 album. Yeah,
exactly. So you mentioned Ilu. He does a lot of production work too, right? I was listening to the beginning of you guys Equalize as a podcast too, and I was checking out the beginning of that the last episode that just dropped, episode 3, I think, and they were talking about sending beats back and forth and stuff. So it sounded like he's doing a lot of production work too.
Yeah, Ilu's great, man. He does a lot of chops with that boom bap sound that I love, like those dirty drums. If you go on his like Spotify page, he just has tons of instrumental albums up there. He was the one who did the production on Live, which is the intro song, which is also kind of like a Wu-Tang style cypher where I think there's like 8 of us on there, each spitting 16 bar verses to his beats. Yeah, so it's nice. It's just that dirty, gritty, underground, underwater drums.
Oh hell yeah, man.
Did you say that's one of your favorite type of beats? Like boom bap was one of your favorite type of beats to rap over, make tracks too? Is like what you're saying, the underwater, dirty, kind of grimy drums and shit like that?
Absolutely. Honestly, if it were just me,
I don't mean to interrupt you. I was just gonna say you guys always had that kind of style, that kind of like, I feel like that soulful, boom bappy kind of, maybe East Coast kind of sounding vibe, I guess, but still kind of like, but I don't want to like put it into that like category, but just like soulful. I've always felt like really soul like music coming out of you guys for sure, which like I feel like, yeah, go for it. My bad.
Yeah, it's like I grew up listening to like bubblegum oldies and like, you know, the Motown sound. So combining Motown and bubblegum soul with like just dirty drums. That's where I'm at. And if it were me, honestly, like my favorite thing to do is rap about rap. So I just write punchlines and crazy multisyllabic stuff with just the dirtiest drums possible. And I'd be happy. But I mean, nobody else wants to hear that other than rappers. So
Right. Exactly. We love that stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's dope though.
Is this your first solo project?
It's my first one in like 10 years. When I'd say from like 08 to 2010, I think I had 4 different solo albums that came out, but that was when Ill Effect was just grinding and I was a college kid and I had, tons of time on my hand. I was working part-time jobs. So this is the first time I've ever actually like conceptualized an album instead of just making tracks and be like, oh, that's 10 songs. Let's make it an album.
Well, you can tell. You can really tell. There is like solidification to all this. They really mesh well together. Like I feel like each track kind of goes into the next one really well. Yeah, I think you can tell there's a thought process, and you're an album artist like I am. Like I can tell you got that old school. Like I want to make it a project, and I want it to sound cohesive. So. Definitely pulled that off with this one, man. One of my favorite ones, I think it's number 3. Is it Pressure? Is the third track?
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite songs on the record. Can you tell us a little bit about what that song is and what it's about, and who did the beat on? Or you got the beat? You already told us about that. So, but yeah, tell us a little bit about that song and like what it was about to you.
Yeah, man. I think this is a good like way to just take a narrow focus on what the larger project is. So Pressure was a beat done by First Official, and it was actually done while I was sitting on my deck. I had just finished building a trampoline for my kids, and so I had my 3 kids down underneath me jumping on the trampoline for the first time, and I just had like this soulful beat like just permeating through like the speakers, and I was watching my kids and I was just sitting back, and it was like a really cool proud dad moment, but I was also reflecting that we're in this era of social injustice and we're locked down because of COVID. And so it's like, man, it's a feel good vibe, and you could be whatever you want to be, but you're still confined to like society and norms, and you have to live a certain way. So like one of my favorite lines is Jesse Owens on the starting block, running past oppression, but still it didn't calm the thoughts. So it's like, we're doing all we can to continue to move the needle forward, and we could be happy about that, but the work isn't done yet. And it's important to not let that weigh you down and still enjoy the fine moments in life, like just sitting back and watching your kids be happy and jump for a second.
Dope, man. I mean, that's really cool. I love that a lot. That's really awesome. Yeah, one of my favorites on there, honestly. I love the vibe of the whole thing. Also, another one of my favorites on there is Still Dope, man.
I was gonna say that.
You like Still Dope? Yeah, dude. That to me, that song is is just like kind of.
That's when you said something about touching up on Aaliyah. I was like, yeah,
that's yes. But that song to me is just like it's just like a fun hip hop song, man. It's just like it feels like you're like, yeah, we're rappity rapping. We're coming at you, and like we're just having fun with rap. Like tell us a little bit about that song, because I just find it to just be like just this great vibe, and just like this like a song that's championing hip hop.
Yeah, man. I think that was my favorite one to write, because it was a rapper rapping about rap. Like that's my heart, that's my love, but it also had that little bit of like soulful feel to it, but it was still like the drums were kind of dirty, and the introduction was like, so I'm out of school, and none of the students ever would imagine that I'd be a rapper. So like the first line, I'm dope enough that I could double my feature, spit a rap, teach a class, then I touch on Aaliyah. Like that's just like that. that just like encapsulates who I am. Like I'm very professional during the day, and I keep it tight. I'm very serious about my work and very serious about the kids I get to serve. But at the same time, like I love to just let loose and rap and like try to fit as many double entendres and different rhyme schemes as there's in there as possible, because like that's what gets me geeked. Like if I'm listening to Joel Ortiz or like the Gorilla Glue tape with Fred the Godson, and Joel Ortiz was playing my speakers a lot at that time, and just listen to the way they bring everything in, these like heavy metaphors and triple entendres and these weird rhyme schemes that you don't see coming out of left field. Like that's what I was trying to emulate.
That's dope, man. I love it.
You're talking about being locked down. Do you miss performing? Because I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen for a while for any artist, but like the act of being on stage, because I'm a newbie to being on stage. I performed my first show with him, and I was like, why have I not been doing this whole time? This feeling is insane. It was hard. It's hard to explain to someone that doesn't perform. Like the feeling I got when I got off stage, I was like, holy shit, that was refreshing and amazing. You know what I mean? So do you miss being able to go on stage and like perform, especially right after you drop an album? I'd want to go perform that shit live.
I do, man. And actually, like, to me, I think it's one of the pitfalls, but also one of the things that makes me grateful for being a father is like I have 3 kids, and I kind of told my wife that when we had our first kid, I was done touring, and like making it, being a boom bap artist and touring isn't as feasible as it once was. Right. So I do miss it. I haven't done a single show or a single performance outside of doing like some of my students' graduation ceremonies or something like that since Precise moved back east. I mean, there was an opportunity last night to do it, but I think family always has to come first, and that's part of what being finally grown's about. Like I could still chase my dreams. I might just have to do it in a different medium, not doing shows.
Yeah, I like that. That's awesome, man. Another one of my favorite songs on the record is Lights On with That Kid Cry. He's on that one, right? Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that song, and then also tell us about your relationship with That Kid Cry too, because I'm a fan of his too, and we've been on the same show down here in like Roseville and Sac area a couple times. So tell us about that song, how that came to fruition, and that's a great song too. Verses on your lyricism and his lyricism on that one, like on point. Tell us how that came about and how you met That Kid Cry and what your relationship with him is.
Yeah, so the song came about just because I grew up super poor in poverty. I grew up in Folsom, so people are like, oh, Folsom, you were rich. But my first home was actually a log cabin in an alley. So it was under 500 square feet, and we had a curtain that separated the living room area from the bathroom, and that was it. It was just a one-room cabin in an alley in Folsom, which is still cool because you could drive by there. It's condemned now, but it speaks to kind of like humble beginnings, right? Like when I was really grinding back from 2006 to 2012, I'd just be totally content if I could make a career out of rapping, just enough to keep the lights on. Like that was my dream. If I could get people to throw their hands in the air, flick a lighter, whatever it takes to keep the lights on, that's all I wanted, and that's all I cared for. Through the song, it kind of changes tones. The last verse is me being about me in 2020, and now I'm just trying to spark the next person to make it, because I know I'm not going to make it. I'm in my mid-30s. I'm a dad, but I want to be the person to let somebody else be inspired and pick up the pen for the first time, or get one of my students not to think that like life's over, there's no point because they've had so much complex trauma through their lives, but really make something of themselves and take whatever situation they're dealt and rise above it. So that was the inspiration for the song, and That Kid Cry just killed it. Oh man, that guy just
on that song.
Yeah. And I actually met him through a rap forum. It was called rapbattles.com, and he and I were heavy in that. Really? Yeah. So we used to do a bunch of song competitions. So I got heavy into rap battles for a while, where like, they nationally rank you and stuff like that. And he and I would do song competitions, and we just hit it off like is just some geeks on a hip hop forum talking about rap, and just that competition of battling back and forth and doing song competitions versus battles. And he's a good dude. He's a family man. He works hard. Yeah. it shows he and I connect on so many levels outside of rap and I just respect and admire him so much for what he does and his integrity that like I could not have him on this album if he was open to it.
It's really awesome, man. Well, I don't know if you, the way you and I met was through the session back in the day. And that was like 2006, 7, 8. Yeah, you were young. Young. He's like 10 years younger than me. So, but yeah, dude. So I remember seeing you and Precise MC doing your Ill Effect thing out at the session, and met so many like cool artists, you know. And so we kind of met through the mutual friend of MC Q Ball, who was putting on these shows, and just shout out to him and the session back in the day, and the Java Cafe like would hold hip hop shows every Sunday night, and that's how I met DJB. It was really dope, man. And you guys were ill back then. You guys were killing it back then too. Like you guys have always had like a really dope stage presence and really great performance. And you guys are performers. You're on point. You know what I mean? I've always like respected rappers that like get on stage and like are on point, like hitting the beat, like and rocking the crowd. You guys have a great stage presence and personality. It's like, it's always fun to watch like an Ill Effect show.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because I'm always interested to hear about people's like experiences doing like stage shows. Like, do you like, how do you prepare for that? Like, knowing that people are going to watch and you can't fuck up, because I'm assuming you don't use background vocals when you don't use
exactly. Yeah,
okay,
we don't do that, right?
I don't do that either, but I've been realizing the last couple of shows I've been to, even like more famous people, they do the background. I'm like, dude, I could just listen to you at my house. I don't need to pay to see you if you're just going to
right,
listen, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's cool that you do that. How do you prepare for something like that? Like, do you just go up there and say fuck it? Like, I just, you know, do you practice for months before the show or whatever? Like, because I think performing is like my new favorite thing to do.
Yeah, man, it's a great thing. And I'm so glad you're having those opportunities to get out there and perform, because really, like, there's nothing to match it. It's that adrenaline rush. It's, you know, it's so much different than releasing an album and just sitting back and seeing like, well, I wonder if people are going to hate it or love it. You know, like, everything's immediate. And so you're reacting in the moment to it. And to be honest, all the Ill Effect stuff that we ever did was never practiced or rehearsed. Like, we wanted to go out there and we wanted it to just be the most organic vibe possible and feed off of each other. So like, I'd stress for hours and hours and hours trying to memorize lyrics, because I can't memorize any lyrics. There, out of the hundreds of shows that we did, there may have been 5 to 10 shows where I didn't mess up a lyric at some point. Precise MC is like, he's the catalyst of all this, man. He memorized his lyrics, my lyrics. He was always on time. The second I'd slip, and just because we're good friends and we connected, like, beyond musically, he's one of the best people I've ever met in my life. Like, I just give him that look, like, you know, and he'd know I was about to slip or I was losing my place, and he'd pick up and jump in. And like, I think to a lot of people it was seamless. Something else I had to develop as a performer is the ability to freestyle. So sometimes I just freestyle the entire verses. If I got off and I didn't remember what I was supposed to say, or, you know, I missed a word, I just freestyle and try to make it as seamless as possible. And Precise would just rock with me, and he'd know when it was time to bring that hook back in. And that's kind of how it all worked. But I mean, I struggle still to memorize things. I have all my lyrics up in front of me now in case you guys ask me anything, because I can't remember. And it's just
That's awesome, man.
But it must be cool. It's in Ill Effect, you have another person to feed off of, like you're saying, you feed off like the energy, because I hear that a lot with like bands, I guess you'd say, someone playing the guitar and then the drums and everything's in sync. But I think that's cool if you can just give someone like your bandmate or whatever just that look, and they know, and they'll come in and help you, or might like do a little ad lib. Or I just think it's cool that the energy. That's why it's watching like two rappers like in a rap group or whatever rapping on stage. I think that's cool because you just see the different energies and how they help each other out through the act of rapping, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a perfect way to explain it. And Precise, he's like the coolest dude you ever met. Like, that guy is centered at all times. And like, I like to think I'm a pretty laid back guy, but I'm the one that if somebody says, oh, that person's a really good rapper, I like get offended. I'm like, they're not a good rapper. I'm a good rapper. You know, like he keeps me level. He keeps me sane. And like, when something starts going left at a show, like I get upset or emotional, and he's like, Dustin, just cool it, man. We got this. Like, right. You know, he's the barometer for how we operate.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and you can feed off each other, you know, right? That energy too. Like, yeah, and get that. Yeah, that makes total sense, man.
Yeah.
What else? Let's see. Another song I really like on the album is Where We Go too. Can you tell a little bit about that song as well too, man, and the significance behind that one?
Yeah, that was one I actually like back when I cared about my body more. I was going to the gym in the mornings, and I have to get up early just because I got the little one. So I'd be out there working out before the sun came up. And my favorite thing to do was, I always had my headphones on, and I'd always be listening to some form of hip hop or R&B. And I'd go outside of the gym and I'd see the sunrise. And there's all these birds with little bird nests like tucked in the gutters of the building, and I just watch these birds fly back and forth, and every once in a while you hear a siren and stuff. So it's just like the mood of being outside as the sun's coming up and everything's fresh, and then like thinking back to like what it means to be alive and to live and be an artist. My grandma was a phenomenal artist. She was my muse ever since I was a little kid. She would paint, and she's actually the one who did the album cover. This was a painting she did of me when I was a little boy.
No way, really?
About that cover art.
Yeah, and so like the song was just driven by her, and like, what's life like for us, and how do we take advantage of those finite moments where things just seem perfect, whether it's watching a sunrise or putting the right verse over a beautiful beat or whatever it may be, or just how to live with integrity. And so that's kind of what drove the song, just like having her in the back of my mind. And she was the one who really taught me what it was like to care for people and how to hold yourself accountable and be vulnerable at the same time to be able to help someone else in need.
So it sounds like, so you get inspiration from your songs from things that you actually like are experiencing, like how you're talking about pressure, your kids in the trampoline, now you're talking about the birds, seeing the birds in the gutters fly back. So do you get inspiration from like, you get inspired from sitting, like, how you're watching the sunset or whatever. So is that how you get inspired with your songs, is like just how you're feeling in the moment, wherever you are? You could be inside, outside, wherever. Is that how you get inspired to like, I'm going to write this song because I just got this, I don't want to say vision, but like this vibe I'm getting right now, or this reminds me of that? Is that how you get inspired, like real life experiences?
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's a great way of putting it. I feel like I've done enough writing in my day now that like I could put together punchlines or, different metaphors or similes. And for me, it's more just finding the vibe now. I don't have a lot of free time either. I have a very busy life. So it's finding those little brief moments of bereavement from whatever's going on around me to be inspired and actually feel the environment, and then try to translate that into some sort of music.
That's awesome, man.
So what inspired you? We're talking about being locked down earlier. Did the quarantine in any way like inspire this album? You like just being stuck in the house? I mean, because shit's closed down and blah blah blah. Is that how you? I don't know how long you've been working on this, but like
that was going to be one of my next questions, actually.
Being inside and being the government making us be inside. Is that what inspired this?
Yeah, for sure. Like it felt like it was attainable at that time. Yeah. Like, my school was closed for a while, so I was working from home, and I was doing a lot of Zoom sessions, and I was right here, and I was able to live with the music in a way I hadn't for a long time. And plus, just knowing that, I'm a little bit restricted in my ability to go out and mingle and socialize and perform as it is. So now it's like a level playing field for everybody, because every musician, every artist was in the same boat I was. So it's like now you could just be judged on the merit of your music. I don't have to do the song and dance. I don't have to dap up everybody I see and like work to get on shows. Now I could just make music, and I could put it out into the ether and see what happens. So for me, it was like, with all the bad that came from it and that's still coming from it, it gave me the freedom to kind of relinquish like everything I've been storing up and just send it out there and know that it's going to be heard, because our options are limited right now, right? We have captive audiences.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that was one of the things. I think I've probably said it on this podcast a couple of times too, but what I've kind of hoped for with the quarantine is, that it would be kind of like a renaissance of art that kind of comes out of it, because everyone's inside, everyone's like, forced to stay inside and work on art, maybe, you know what I mean? And like all this like great stuff would come out of that,
Yeah, and I don't know what you guys have been listening to, but I do think it has been a renaissance. Like, I've been bumping like all the Griselda stuff. I don't know if you guys are into like West Side Gun and the Benny Butcher stuff. Conway, yeah.
Dude,
I mean,
guys, I was just sorry. I just wanted to put this out there that I always talk shit about new rappers, and I hate on a lot of new rappers, and I think everyone's fucking garbage. I don't mean to cuss so much. That's just how I fucking feel. But West Side Gun, like the Griselda, those dudes are like, I hear those dudes. I'm like, this is what I've been waiting for fucking years now.
Exactly.
That type of rap. That's grimy shit, right?
Yeah,
there.
it's nice to hear that there are still artists that are making that type of music for sure.
Yo, and there's so many. So like Hit Boy produced the new Benny the Butcher album. He also produced King's Disease with Nas.
Yes.
Like he was on Big
Incredible
Sean's.
album.
Yeah, he was on Big Sean's Detroit too. That kid's killing it. And like there's so much good music. I just listened to Ty Dolla $ign's new album and it was like 25 tracks. And like I don't always mess with the sound, but like dude, people are putting in so much work right now. This has been such a great year for hip hop. And I think the quarantine has a lot to do with that.
Yep. Definitely.
That's true, man. So how long did it take you to work on this album? How long did it take to finally bring it to completion?
Man, back when it was originally titled Officially Yours and was all first official, it was about 2.5 years ago I started with it. And then really once the quarantine hit, I sent it into overdrive because I think I wrote something like, I want to say around 70 verses in a 4-week period. Wow. So like man, I sent you, I think 3 of the tracks where like I was just doing one verse at a time. And like, I was like, okay, I'm on to the next beat. So every night, once my kids went to bed, I'd write 3 or 4 verses, and usually to different songs. So it's just like one verse thing. So like, I've got a vault right now of, probably close to 100 different like songs that have some sort of completion to them. So if you guys ever want to work, I mean, I got stuff.
Oh, we're doing it. Yeah, hell yeah, bro, for sure. Fire.
Was this? I don't know how. If the art of making music and the process stresses you out. I'm a stress case. I'll get stressed out. Was this project something that like, even because I could be at work thinking about like, oh, that's eating at me. I fucked up that verse, or I gotta redo this, or the mixing's not good. Do you feel that way? Do you let it like stress you out in a way? Because I know it's supposed to be fun, but the process, people don't really realize the process. It's a lot. There's a lot more to it than just pressing record. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I feel like I'm a pretty optimistic dude, but I'm definitely a hater when it comes to my own music. Like
I can't listen to my shit
hard,
more than
right?
twice. I'm like, oh, turn it off.
And like I'm not very good at mixing yet, and like this was all done independently by me. I wrote, recorded, mixed. I did everything except the mastering that Ilu did, and it would stress me out at times, but at the same time, I'm like, there's nothing to lose, man. I'm in my mid-30s. I've already got another career. Like, I'm not expecting to pop off of some boom bap in 2020.
Right.
So it's kind of like gloves off. Like, let's just get in there and get dirty. But yeah, I stress about that. Like, I don't want to spend my free time doing something that means a lot to me and just have people say it's trash when I release it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It sucks that boom bap isn't like to me, boom bap is like the golden era. That's the golden era, which was the 90s. Yeah. Because I'm a boom bap. I mean, that's what I like to rap over. But I feel like what?
I was just gonna say, he's young and he's got his style in rap, man. I mean, well, his favorite group is Helter Skelter, right?
Yeah, like old Wu-Tang, Sean Price.
He's got such a 90s vibe,
But I just was gonna say, like, I feel like, because I was gonna also ask you about your album, because I feel like half of the beats are kind of boom bappy, and then I feel like another half are kind of modern, and that's what I've been kind of like leaning towards, is like, because I used to only just snatch YouTube instrumentals off, like MP3, convert them back in the day, just like 1990 Wu-Tang instrumental or whatever. But I feel like I've just kind of like kind of adapt to the times and try to go more modern, not all modern, but I'll switch it up. Maybe half songs are boom bap that I like, and then other half are something that's kind of out of my comfort zone, but I'm going to try it out. Is that what you kind of went for with this album? Because I feel like it was kind of 2 different types of beats. It was like the real boom bap, like Still Dope. Mm-hmm. And then the other half are kind of like more modern, I guess, like the Domini or whatever. Because I know I've heard that dude's beats for years. I've seen him on YouTube for years. That dude's sick.
Yeah.
But is that what you kind of went for? Like, maybe not on specifically, but you kind of wanted to switch it up, so it's not just a boom bap album, I guess you'd say?
Yeah, I mean, I think it all goes back to the vibe. And like right now, I think is probably the most modern, like commercially accessible track. And like I like the way it sounds. Like sometimes I just hear something like, oh, that sounds like a single. That'd be fun to rap on, even though it's like not necessarily my forte. But the tracks that drive me tend to be more the boom bap. I just like I don't know. I feel like I have something I'm working on right now called the Boom Bap Chronicles, which is 9 tracks of just boom bap and it's just rappity rapping. And like I could do that all day. That's my favorite thing. That's my passion. But at the same time, if I'm gonna release a project that says something and it conveys a message and it's more conceptualized, I think I need to have something that will hit different ears also. And so I think that was the thing that prompted having some more modern beats was, you know, I didn't want to just get pigeonholed into one type of rapper or one type of form, but I wanted, you know, my wife's sisters to be able to listen to some tracks too.
Yeah,
exactly. Absolutely.
I kind of base it off of, is this going to sound good in the car? You know what I mean? I want the beats to sound good in the car, because I've made some boom bap songs. I'm like, this sounds like dog shit in my radio or my stereo right now. So that's why I think the modern type of beats and stuff like that, I used to be a hater on it, but as I kind of get older and progress, I'm like, you know, first, they're not that bad. They're good beats. I think because a lot of the time people say, I like this rapper because he's got good beats. I'm like, well, then you like the producer. You don't like the rapper.
Word.
Exactly.
Yeah. I do think there is an art form for picking beats and having that ear. Like Fat Joe's definitely not my favorite rapper, but Fat Joe just has this ear. Like he knows what a single is going to be, and he knows how to like mesh his lyrics, his flow, his delivery, his cadence to that beat to make it, you know, something better than what your average rapper would do. And I do think Fat Joe is kind of like an average rapper, but the way he's able to mesh his sound with the beat is far superior to your average rapper, I guess. Your average rapper.
It makes sense. Yeah, that can make like a whole album too. Like you got to have an artist who's gonna pick good beats, or at least, you know, something that's gonna mesh with their style, right? Or work with a producer that's gonna, you know, that I love. That's one of my favorite things is when like a producer and a hip hop and an MC has that, just like that dynamic that just works, you know, and it just like it just clicks, and you can feel it. You feel the raw energy from like those two people making that music from scratch.
Yeah, and like I always go back to the argument, and the Precise MC and I think are aligned with this. Like, I think it's pretty reasonable to say Nas is a top 10 rapper of all time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But how many like 5 mic 10 out of 10 classic albums does Nas have? Right, I'd say Illmatic and Stillmatic.
I was gonna say
yeah.
And why does he only have 2 over a 25-year career? It's because he picks trash beats, man. Like that dude could rap his ass off, but
for real though, because that last Kanye one was
I had to turn that
a
shit
disaster,
off.
man.
Yo, but King's Disease is dope.
That's up there with those classics for him for sure. For me, like even already, like he finally like found that sweet spot, and it was Hit Boy. You said right? That was like did all those, I think, right?
Man, Hit Boy, he's gonna be the next generation's Preem, I think. I don't want to blow him up too much, but that kid is on a run right now. He's done nothing wrong in the last 18 months.
Yeah, he's had some hits. Oh my god. Yeah, man. Well, shoot. You have anything else that you were thinking of?
No. Well, we're talking about Hit Boy. Do you ever wish you've because you said I was asking you earlier about your producing, like your self-producing. Do you ever wish you were because I personally wish I could make beats so bad, but sometimes I feel like that's a cool way to go. Is just like I'm gonna be a producer like Hit Boy, and like make a bunch of money, but you're also just like making beats, and you don't have to always be in it. Because I feel like as a rapper, I need to make music videos and get my face out there, not just my voice. But I feel like making beats is important, because I want to dabble into that a lot more. Because you're saying you chop samples and like soul samples, like. That's something that I've always wanted to get into. It's just I don't have the patience for it, I just get frustrated. But I feel like, is that something you'd want to do, like even make a beat tape or like produce your own songs that you rap over?
Yeah, I'd love to do that, man. But I'm like you. I have that ADHD. I don't have the patience to sit there and fine tune or tweak or EQ a sample that I've chopped and then, piece it all together and then go through different progressions. And like for me, I've always been a bit of a talker, so like it's so much easier to convey my thoughts and my feelings through written word than it is through just instrumentation. But as far as like who I am as an introvert and just like a natural like recluse because of my family and wanting to be home with my kids and my beautiful wife, like that's ideal. If I can make beats and just send them out and have dope artists like perform over them, dude, that's the life, because I don't want to go out. I got burnt out on bars and clubs. Like that's not me. I want to stay home. I want to like be up at 6 a.m. watching Sesame Street, learning about the letter E. Like,
that's right.
Yeah.
Man.
Because you're touring, so like, I've never toured or anything. I've barely.
I was gonna bring up touring because he's one of the artists that I know that has experience like touring out here too.
So I've heard a lot about touring and how exhausting, because it sounds fun and it sounds like the life, but I've heard that it's exhausting and like it just like beats down your body physically. You're just like, fuck, I'm tired. You know what I mean? Like, is it kind of a job? I mean, it technically is your job, but is it exhausting to tour and perform nonstop?
Yeah, it's exhausting, but at the same time, like that performance also gives you energy, right? So it's the ebbs and flows of life, and like I've always been a little bit more responsible as a rapper. So like I would typically be the driver. Like I'm gonna drive. I'm sober. I'm not doing anything crazy. Yeah. And like when we're on tour, it's like, man, I just want to make music. If I'm on tour and I'm spending my time doing this, like every city we're at, I want to link up with their local artists and I want to knock out a song in a night. I don't want to just perform. I don't want to pass out business cards. Let's make music. Like, these moments are few and far between. And if you have the opportunity to tour or to create something that's going to last and build that time capsule for yourself, it's like audio journals for life, man. You have to take advantage of those opportunities, because pretty soon you're going to get in a space where you're like me, and like the only outlet you have that's for your self-expression is these little moments, once the kids are in bed or between a stressful day at work and doing the dishes or cutting grass. So like, if you have the opportunity to be out and your job is music, man, make that 24/7, burn yourself out, make the memories.
Yeah, definitely.
It makes total sense.
Do you ever, I guess it's something I've had to get over, because Theory is different, where he's all, because you're an introvert, I'm kind of both, but when it comes down to music, I've even had people like talk about they rap and they ask me if I rap. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I don't rap. I've never done that. Or do you ever get like, have you ever gotten insecure to like tell people or label yourself as a rapper? Like, hey, I rap. Have you ever got insecure? Have you like gotten over it where you just like accept it? Like, yeah, man, I'm a rapper. Because I've had trouble even admitting like, yeah, dude, like, yeah, I'm a rapper, bro. Because everyone's a fucking rapper these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's funny. Like I always had this theory, like there's two things that you do where you're put on the spot to do them immediately. If you say you're a rapper, well, then give me a bar. Yeah. Oh, you have bars.
Exactly.
Or like if you're a comedian, well, then tell me a joke. It's like,
make me laugh.
Yeah, I'm not a puppet. Like I'll say that I'm a rapper because I am a rapper. I'm a lot of different things. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a principal, I'm a teacher, I'm a rapper. I'm all those things. If I ever say I'm a principal, no one says, well, tell me what the education code is.
Make it rhyme when you say
it. Yeah. So like I'll say I'm a rapper, but I don't rap on the spot. That's one of my taboo things. Is like, no, I'm here and I love to share my art. Sometimes I get a little like, shy when it's being played in front of me. Like I don't want to play my own stuff in front of people. Like if you want to enjoy it at your own time, but I'm not going to rap on the spot. If I'm in a cypher or something, I'll jump in and I'll do my best to freestyle and hang with whoever's there. But if I'm at work and someone says, oh, you're a rapper, let's hear you rap. No, I'm cool on that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I've heard that so many times throughout when I started. Like my PlayStation name is Oscar's Got Bars, and I could shoot some dude in Call of Duty 30 times. Well, yeah, we'll spit a bar. Shut up, dude. I'm playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I'm not out here trying to fucking rap for you right now, bro. Give me $100. I'll think about it.
There you go. Get the payola.
Exactly.
There is a cool service. Just for you guys and whoever's listening who may be an aspiring artist, it's Fiverr. It's Fiverr. And what you could do is you could create like a gig or a job for yourself, and you could put yourself up there, because there's always people looking for rappers. Like I did commercials for pizza places. I was ghostwriting battle bars for people on the East Coast doing competitions where like I just charge anywhere from, $5 to $100 for, even just written verses, or I'd record and show them how to do it. And I was getting paid to do something I already do anyways and love. So like, it's a cool opportunity. It just kind of reminded me when you were talking about Call of Duty.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Did you ever expect, because I don't ever expect, I kind of had the mindset, I do this at the end of the day, I rap because it's like it's like a hobby / passion, but I never do it to expect, I'm going to get that paycheck one day. Or I personally just do this because
you love it, right?
It's just one of those, it's kind of a Zen thing. Me talking shit into the microphone violently is very
yeah, that's
I just kind of, is this all kind of like a passion / hobby? Like this just makes you, one of your things that feel good. You have your kids, you have your wife, but making music, is that one of your kind of Zen areas? I don't know, you're relaxing, that's it's your hobby, but it's also a passion, you know what I mean? Is that how you see it? You don't care about like the money or the fame and all that bonus kind of stuff?
No, I did though. Like seriously, when we were grinding hard, we were doing like 2 to 3 shows a week for a while. Like we were recording songs, multiple songs a week. Like we were grinding. At one time I did a mixtape. It was 28 and 28. So it was on college. I had 28 days off for winter break. So I did a song every single day and released a song every single day and then made a mixtape of it and pushed it. And like, not only were we performing, but I was also DJing on the side. So like, 2 to 3 times a week, I was going up to like a hookah bar in Diamond Springs, which is out in the middle of nowhere, and working with DJ Nameless Faceless and pumping that. So like, I wanted to make it. I gave it everything I had to make it. Now it is that Zen. It's that free time that I have. It's oftentimes my only time that I have where I'm just by myself to my own devices, and I'm reflecting on the day, and I'm processing all these weird feelings I have about where the world is, and like, it helps me kind of to find my place. Just because my job, like I hate to always go back to my job, but I think my job really is something that's important in the scheme of what this record is and who I am as a person. Like I'm a principal at a school that serves at-risk high needs kids, the most restrictive school setting in the state outside of a kid who's in a juvenile facility. And half of our kids come to us straight off of hospitalization for a suicidal attempt or suicidal ideation. So it's not lost on me that my job's important, and that comes with a lot of stress, and it comes with a lot of pressure. Like I have to be a caricature of goodness and well-being, and being able to just be an MC for a second and move away from that world and move away from the press and the stressors of being a good father and a good husband and a sound individual it means more to me than I could explain in words, because sometimes you just need to get your shots off lyrically.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
because of the love, man. I know you love. I know it's a passion for you. I can tell. That hip hop and just being able to spit bars and get those lyrics out there. It's like I know that feeling. Just being able to put that out. So I know I can tell it's your passion. You're gonna do it no matter what, right?
For sure. Like there's nothing that would really stop me from doing this. It's my lifeblood. It's the thing that reinvigorates me and gets me up for those hard days and pulls me up when I'm already feeling down. Like it's therapy. It is that Zen that you were talking about.
That's cool, man. How long have you been a principal of the school there? How long have you been doing that?
Been a principal for about 4 years now, and I was teaching before that. So I've been in special ed since I was 20. So the last 15 years I've been working with special needs kids.
That's amazing, man. That's really cool. And I know it's not a family-friendly show, but do you want to give a shout out to the school or?
Oh man, I don't know if I can play this for the school.
All right, cool. I was just making sure. Yeah, no, don't do that.
What's the address, dude? No.
But no, that's really cool that you do that, man. That's yeah, you can tell that it means a lot to you for sure.
So do the students and the kids there that they know you rap, or some of them know you rap and make music?
Yeah, they do. On their graduation date, I'll let them know like what my SoundCloud is or whatever. But like, I don't say anything before that because it's gonna like color a different version of me than there needs to be at the time.
I understand that totally.
Yeah.
That makes sense, man. Well, and another thing that I owe you thanks for too, DJB, is a lot of the live performances that I did in the past 10 years are because of you.
That's cool.
I was working at the Dimple Records in Folsom, and back in whatever it was, 2000, I can't remember what year it was, but you came in one day. This is, a couple years after the session had like kind of went away, and you had either known or you were buddies with Eric over at the Ace of Spades, who was either the owner or the booker or something like that. And you had come to me and you had asked me. You came into the store, and you came and you asked me, are you still doing your rap thing? I'm like, of course, yeah, I still love doing that, still performing. And you said just, Eric was looking for artists to hip hop artists to open for acts, and you gave me 3 options. I think and I was like, yeah, I'm stoked for that. He's like, you told me you gotta sell tickets. I was like, cool, I'm down, like whatever, it's cool. I just want to perform and open for, bigger names. And you gave me like 3 options. I think it was E40. I think Bow Wow was one of them, and
Good thing you didn't choose Bow Wow.
I can't remember the third one, but yeah, I took that E40 show, man. And ever since then, I got Eric's contact, and I got to perform there a lot at Ace of Spades, and I got to open for a lot of my like favorite artists, and I have you to thank for that, for even coming in and thinking of me and offering me that. So that was great, man.
Man, thank you. That means a lot. I mean, it's all love, and like I think so much of what we've talked about today is just come back to integrity and good people. Like good people deserve to be taken care of in an industry where there's not a lot of good people and not a lot of good being done by good people, right? Like everybody's looking for the next stepping stone to get to where they want to be in their career. And like, I'm so glad that I'm able to be on this podcast with you guys and just talk about good people with good people, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you on all streaming platforms?
Yes, sir.
So when you have, I don't know, this is kind of a business question, but like with the producers like Domini or whatever, do you split royalties with that? Because I'm new to all. I just was on streaming platforms for the first time as of like August, and I've worked with producers, not just Steven. So I've bought, and I'm just getting the business down. He's like, yeah, you can put them on. It's 50-50 though, or it's 70-30, or like, do you have to deal with that too, like splitting it? And does that bother you at all?
Man, so my thing is I'll split 50-50 with every producer. So like with First Official, for example, I'm leasing the beats. They're super cheap. So like I could get 10,000 streams before something happens. And what I do is I'll just shoot them an email, say like, hey, if this pops and it gets over 10,000 streams, we'll just split everything 50-50. And that way it's kind of a win-win.
Cool. Yeah.
That's and honestly, like it's weird, but Lil Nas X was the dude who like put me onto that, because when what was this, Old Town Road popped.
Yeah.
Like right away he knew it was going to be bigger than what he thought it was going to be. So he just went to the producer and was like, this is going viral. What are we going to do about it? And they just worked out something like that. Cause I could pay like $50 to lease a beat, or I could pay $100 for an exclusive lease on a beat, which will allow me more streams and more radio play, or I could buy it exclusively for $500. Well, I'm in education, so I can't pay $500 for anything right now.
Yeah. Right.
So like it makes more sense that like we both reduce risk on our end, right? Like I'll lease the beat, he's able to sell it to other people, they're able to do their thing, and if for whatever reason it pops, then we're just splitting it 50-50. And I'm not in it for the money. I mean, it would be great if I could live off rap, but it's not going to happen. I mean, I'm a gray-haired white suburban rapper who's into education and boom bap. Like it's not happening.
Better than Bow Wow, dude.
Yeah.
I am 5'11", so I got him.
Did you ever get like, because I'm in the same boat where like I'm 24, I'm younger than you guys, but I don't have those. I mean, it's always a dream, it's a dream. Like, yeah, I want to be on stage and people come to see me and I'm selling out crowds, but like I don't have that in my mind. I don't think like, all right, I'm gonna make that song, gonna pop off, and I don't have to. I can quit my job, like. I know that there's a 99.9% chance that's not gonna happen, but it doesn't get me down. Did it ever get you down or like unmotivate you? Like, I'm not gonna fucking make it. Like, why am I gonna still make music? Did you ever get in those kind of, I guess, depressed, like moods where it's like, I don't want to keep making music. I'm a white kid in the suburbs. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna do anything with this. Did it ever get you down?
doesn't get me down. It gets me mad, honestly. Like, I'm a super competitive person. And so, like, I think I told you guys earlier, like, if somebody says they're a good rapper, like, I personally get offended. It's not because I want to be a dick, but, like, I want to be the best at whatever I do. And, like, I go into everything. Like, when I would go into a venue, I'd start scanning the room immediately, looking for plaques on the wall, looking for the dude with the goofiest hat. That way, when a freestyle popped off, I was picking those things out around the room. And like I was trying to make it be as seamless as possible because I never want to get ousted by anybody. I never want to be outshone by anybody. That's why I got into battle rap, not because I want to be a mean person, but because I want to, like, you know, I want to outsmart you, and I want to do it in a creative way that nobody else could do it because I want to be the best. And like, I know I'm never going to pop like I need to not do my, you know, day-to-day job, but I'm still going to shoot for the stars every single chance I get. So like, I still think, like, you know, there could be that one record down the road. I know there's very little chance, but I'm still going to write every time. Like, I have that one record in my pocket that's going to, you know, ascend me to a place that I never thought imaginable.
Well, in this day and age, with the internet, that's all it takes. Like, what I think Post Malone, how he popped it, White Iverson, he put the video up, went to sleep, and then they woke up the next day. He's like, holy shit, like, this just blew up. Exactly. It literally happens overnight these days, and I'm not expecting that, but it does give me motivation to think, like, it's not the 90s. I don't have to sit outside of a record store handing you out, like, CDs and, like, trying to cipher for you really quick. Like, you can just, you know, there's a chance. That's the thing. I think social media is really cancerous in a way, but I also think it's really powerful in a way, too, where you put your art out there and your craft out there, and you never know where it can take you. You know what I mean? So that's why it still motivates me to, there might be that high percentage chance of not, you know, doing anything, but the power of networking, that's another thing I'm learning, is networking and who you know. It's not about like what you know, it's about who you know and who can get you to that place. You know what I mean? And help you out.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you know, I'm with you guys. Like, honestly, I figured I put this out, I get like 40 streams, and we'd be talking, and you guys would be like being super nice and everything. But like, you know, the response has been crazy for this, and like, it's far exceeded whatever I thought it could be. And it's cool just looking at the statistics. Like, you know, it's cool having people in North Carolina playing my music, and it's cool seeing high school kids posting.
I got one in United Kingdom the other day. I was like, oh, I'm fucking making it, Mom. I'm at a house. So like, you have to have that mentality that you're going to make it. That's what pushes you. That's what gets you up the next day to make the better song than the song before. Like, never stop. Like, I don't know, man. Morgan Freeman, he didn't break through in acting until he was like 60 years old.
Yeah,
like, don't give up.
You hear that story a lot, you know?
Oh, I heard there's like Eminem, Jay-Z, Kanye. I don't know who the other. There's like 5 or 6 rappers in this group that didn't drop their first album until they were all like 26 or 27. And I just dropped my first one at 23 like a couple months ago. But I wouldn't even get self-conscious because I think I'm old. I talk to old ladies at the bar. It doesn't matter who you are. I tell my age, like, oh, you're a baby. I feel super old. But then as I get older, I realize, like, I got to start putting this, like, age kind of gap or this age limit on rapping. Like, if I want to do it and I'm 30, I'm still going to do it. If I'm 40, I don't give a fuck. I'm still going to do it.
That's how I feel.
Fun, you know what I mean? Because I've always told myself, like, I don't want to be 25 and still, I'm like, wait, 25? Yeah, I'm going to rap when I'm 25, obviously. You know what I mean? I just think that there's a stigma behind it. Like, oh, of course you're a rapper. You're like 26 and you're still trying to rap. Like, yeah, of course. I just think the age thing needs to go. If you want to do it, do it. If you want to go fucking be a snowboarder at 45, do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, shoot your shot. Like, I never heard of 2 Chainz until I think it was 2008 when Lil Wayne was on like a crazy run in 2008. I think he had 100 tracks or something crazy. But he did Players Circle, Anthem. Like, that was when 2 Chainz was still called Titty Boy. And I think it was like Duffel Bag Boys or something was the track.
We were just talking about this song.
And he was like 34 or 35 when that came out. Like, and then he changed his name afterwards. Like, this dude completely reinvented himself in his mid-30s. That's wild.
Oh yeah, and it's huge and just pumps out hits too. It's dope.
Yeah, and he's not even that good. I mean, I remember listening. You know, like, one of the wildest moments was when I was listening to what's that album? It's like Pretty Girls Wear Pink in the Trap or something like that.
Yeah,
and like he opens the album and he's literally just talking about appliances in his kitchen. I'm like, dude, that is so fun. Like, I got a see-through fridge. I'm like, oh man, I want to get on that level.
For real though. Oh man, that's so dope. Man.
That's the next level. He's talking about like, silverware and shit glows in the dark.
Oh man, I covered everything. Did you have any other questions, man? I think we've been talking to you for an hour, man. We don't want to hold you up. I know it's late tonight, but yeah, we really appreciate you talking to us. Did you tell us? So again, the album is called "Finally Grown" on Equal Eyes Records, right? And obviously, go ahead, tell them where it is. It's everywhere, every streaming platform and everything.
Yeah, all the streaming platforms. I didn't do CDs or anything because I haven't bought a CD in 8 years.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So just stream it, and I just shout out to Precise MC, That Kid Cry, Kyla Rossino, who did the hook for Where We Go, Tone Jones.
I meant to name up. Sorry about that. Yeah. Shout out. Keep going. My bad.
Yeah. Tone Jones, First Official, and Anno Domini for production. Ilu, who's the head of Equalize Records, that guy goes to bat. He helped with the rollout so much. He did all the geeky, nerdy work that I hate. I just want to write, record, and be done with it and never touch anything ever again. And this dude he was persistent. He's like, man, he's so hands-on for being the owner of a label. It's ridiculous. And I couldn't be more grateful for, people like them in my corner, just helping make the project come to fruition and be what I hoped it would be. And then, people like you guys who are just giving me the opportunity to come on and speak about it. You guys didn't have to do this. So I'm eternally grateful for that.
Totally, man.
Yeah, no, man, we love it, man. We definitely wanted to have you on and talk about the album. And I think it's really cool. And it's kind of a perfect storm, your first solo in 10 years and all that, man. It's really cool, man. What do you have planned next after this? I know you're working on this is what's out right now, but do you have something in the future? I know you were talking about the Hip Hop Chronicles was like another project you're working on.
Baby.
Or Boom Bap, excuse me. Boom Bap.
Yeah, Oskeeet M-Theory, man. Yeah, I got the Precise MC and I are working on the Ill Effect project. That's next.
Yes, please.
I'm calling it officially Ill. I don't know what he wants to call it yet.
I love that. That's
but it's all first official.
How you said you had like 100, you had your vault of like 100, like some like verses or songs, and not all of them are completed. Would you ever like take the ones that you think are the best and like turn that into a project?
Oh, all day. I mean, I think I sent M-Theory like 3 songs. I've sent some to Optimistic, who's this crazy rapper out of like Placerville. It's funny, but he's got like a real like strange music type vibe. Super smart. I've sent some to Mr. P. Chill, some to Marty Bush. I got Loose Slugga on MLS on some.
So so you guys are all both connected with like the Sacramento, because I'm from the Bay. So I've seen Marty Bush and Hennessy. Cool.
Yep.
So these dudes are sick, but is Mr. P. Chill the dude that says "do the dummy"?
No, that's
Cue Ball.
That's MC Cue Ball. Yeah.
He's a legend.
Legend, bro.
And shout out to Cue Ball too, because the session M-Theory mentioned it before, but that was like the most beautiful, pure, organic form of hip hop you could imagine. It's a coffee shop in the middle of like a suburb, where some of the dopest artists I've ever met have performed. Like we had Dalek Braidwith, who was he's been on Def Poetry Jam. I saw him there for the first time. Neighborhood Watch. That was a collective of people. Rasir from the Leak, who's performing in LA Vegas all the time, is there. Like C+, like literal legends from the Sacramento area kind of cut their teeth there. And like, I can't express how great it was to just know that community was present every Sunday night in like a little area that shouldn't have anything to do with hip hop. And it made me fall in love with it. It was like an episode of Brown Sugar every time I walked in the building.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the record label you want? What is it called?
It's Equalize Records. They're out of Vermont. They're a small record label, but they make such dope music. And there's so many people so much more talented than me. I mean, we have producers, we have MCs, we have people who have just like had storied careers that you wouldn't imagine. And it's just that feel good vibe. Like it's the Griselda label, just without the push that they have. Like there's so many good people, so many like diverse styles.
That's what I was gonna ask you because I don't want to take too much of your time, but I have Theory who will make me beats. We work together, we do the podcast together, and I have select 1 or 2 friends from San Jose that are really good rappers. But I don't really have a team. Like, does it feel good knowing that you have like a team of creative minds? I know say two brains are better than one. Like, does it feel better, or does it get you more motivated to make music knowing that you're a part of like a collective? I guess you'd say where a bunch of people are doing the same thing and they're all down to work together. Like, is that a reassuring feeling when you make music, knowing that I can work with this person, I can get this collaboration, I can get advice from this person or my manager, whoever? It's just like a collective. It sounds cool. That's why I'm asking. It sounds like it feels good to be a part of something.
Yeah, man, it's the best feeling. And honestly, because I'm competitive, like I want to smash everybody. I love them to death, but I want to tear them apart.
Right there. That's how I feel, dude.
You know, like if I hear someone have a dope bar, I'm gonna write 3 dope bars, and I'm gonna address their dope bar at the same time, and I'm gonna tell them about it. Like, and when we were really like doing our thing, we were in a collective called One Nation Army, which had some
One
just
Nation Army. Shout out to One Nation.
Remember that? So familiar. What is that?
Yo, if you go on Dat Piff right now, there's 2 mixtapes from One Nation Army. That are classics. I'd put those up against any mixtapes in California at the time. Yeah. Like it's crazy. Those were golden moments.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. He's looking it up right now. I'm gonna go back and check that out. Like for real. Like I remember that the One Nation Army. You guys were. I wanted to be part of that crew, man. That was like such a cool crew, man. It was so dope.
Well, what happened was so C Plus and Bossy and
I said Mozzie. I was like, oh shit.
No, not Mozzie. No, we weren't there. But shout out Pete Space, who recorded Blah Da, which was Mozzie's breakthrough album when he had Soundcap Studios off Broadway.
That's right.
Pete Space is another one of those great humans.
Side question before you finish. Do you like Brother Lynch Hung?
No. No, I don't. I don't.
Are you from the 916? Like you're born and raised?
Yeah, but I don't.
Shit, I've never. This is crazy. No, this is good.
I mean, it's not for everybody.
No, I know it's not. I know.
Obviously,
and all that shit's not everyone.
Yeah,
killing babies and shit.
That's kind of one of my bugaboos.
Yeah. For real.
That's why I just want to throw that out there. If you like, because we met him at the Ace of Spades actually. But yeah.
I hope he was a good dude, man. I don't know him personally. I just can't get into his music. I have a feeling he's well. I'll leave it there.
Yeah. Well, right. I think he sucks. No, I'm just.
Please no.
No, but One Nation Army. So have you been a part of like different crews throughout your, or like not? I don't want to say labels, but different like rap crews throughout your career of rapping?
Yeah, so Mr. P. Chill started Dysfunctional Family, which was like DJ Nocturnal, who's still one of the dopest DJs in the Sacramento area.
You told me about that guy.
Nox killing it.
Yep.
It was Max Bundles who was there, P. Chill. I think there were a couple others. I can't remember everybody. And then One Nation Army started. And One Nation Army was really just a response to the Neighborhood Watch, which had Fifth Ave. Man, they were everything I wanted to be as a rapper.
Yes.
They were like a little brother, like Tribe Called Quest.
You just shut out Little Brother. I respect points for you, buddy.
Oh, of course.
Because Little Brother and Tribe Called Quest are very influential to me.
Yes.
Precise MC and I we met in a poetry class. And one of the first assignments was like everybody had to raise their hand and name an influential poet. And so I said Common Sense because that was my favorite at the time. And I don't remember what Precise said, but we like met up in the hall at one of the breaks because it was like a 3-hour class. And he's like, you said Common Sense. I was like, yeah, I love Common Sense, Gangstar, Little Brother. And right away, like we just connected. And like from that moment on, we've been like best of friends. We've been MCing together, and like, so little brother is something really significant. We always tried to like pattern ourselves as being like the West Coast little brother.
So it sounds like you have, just from the beats that were on Finally Grown, and we talked about boom bap, but like, so I'm guessing East Coast like 90s rap is probably your biggest influence of rapping. Not like, because I'm from the West Coast, I'm born in the Bay, but I gravitate, and I'm always associating my influences. 99% of them are Brooklyn projects from the 90s music, you know what I mean? Like, so it sounds like that's one of you're probably your main, I don't want to speak for you, but I'm guessing that's your main influences for rap is East Coast boom bap.
Yeah, I mean,
shit.
Yeah. Nas, AZ, so like all the firm.
AZ.
Like AZ had rhyme patterns I'd never even heard before. Like I didn't know it was capable to rhyme that way. And now you have guys like Elzai who are doing the same thing. I don't know if you guys have heard Elzai, but if you haven't heard Elzai, listen to Elzai. He has a project called Illmatic, E-L-L-Matic, like Illmatic, where it's just him doing all the beats from Illmatic, but with Will Powers doing the reinstrumentation to kind of like modernize it a little bit, but same samples.
That's cool.
That sounds dope.
Elzai has the best rhyme schemes in hip hop outside of Pharoah Monch. So Pharoah Monch has been a huge inspiration.
Yeah.
Fonte, yeah. Fonte's one of my all-time favorite rappers. I love Fabulous. I love the kind of build-up 1-2 punchline schemes. Royce da 5'9". Black Thought is the most consistent rapper to ever live.
Black Thought is the most slept on, underrated rapper of all fucking time, in my opinion. Besides Big L and MF Doom, I think Black Thought is the most underrated rapper of all time. Because everyone because it's like the Roots. Oh no, that one Roots song. It's like, but Black Thought in general. I'm not trying to fan
MC, just like individually.
That dude is insane, and I love that shit.
I don't know if you guys have seen it. Everybody who has ever listened to rap at any point in their life needs to watch Black Thought's Hot 97 freestyle, where he snaps for 10 minutes.
Many times.
Yes.
He never goes out of pocket in 10 minutes. I don't care who you are. Like, the bars are crazy. The delivery's crazy. Everything's on point. Like, you couldn't dream of that. Like, insane.
So you said we were talking about performing, you've practice, like you had to freestyle verses. If let's say you were to go on a radio show and they did the, like, Sway does the 5 fingers of death freestyle, whatever, would you do it off the top of the dome, or would you have pre-written lyrics ready, like a free verse, or I call them free verses, but like, would you have a verse ready to spit over a beat that's written down and you memorize it, or would you just off the top that shit?
I would freestyle and live with the consequences. So we've had that happen.
That's what I want.
I mean, we've done FM radio before, and I've never done anything other than a true freestyle.
That's what's up.
I feel
MC.
like, just like I was saying, like the background vocals are becoming a thing for concerts and shows where they just play their own their songs and they rap over the lyrics. I think that and freestyling, but it's actually a written verse, I think those are becoming kind of like normal these days. Like, it's protocol, like, oh, freestyle, then I'm gonna spit you this verse on a radio show, and everyone's like, damn, that was sick, but it's like, that was written
somewhere else later.
You know, so I'm just like, I'm a big fan of like the art of freestyling. That shows like how you get down, like thinking of words, or like I remember when I'd freestyle with you and you would like just pick things up and tell me to rap about it.
Exactly, doing that type of stuff.
So that's good. I was just wondering, because I feel like it's so the word freestyling, 2 words or whatever, is so watered down these days, where it's like, I've gone on shows, seen shows on the internet, and it's just like dudes it's so obvious that they wrote that down, you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to keep the art of hip hop, like the gritty underwater shit, alive, you know? I want that shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, I think what shaped my experience was 2 different encounters I had with KRS-One, who I think is one of the best freestylers of all time.
The teacher.
Yeah. The first time I had just started rapping, so I'd only been rapping like a year and a half. And I was at a show with him, and I was in a cypher, and he was looking for someone to pass the mic to, and I was too scared because I was like, man, I don't have it like that. And then the next time I was actually providing sound for a show that he was at, and he passed the mic to me, and this was like 4 years later, and I was ready, and I got a freestyle with KRS-One, and like
What?
it was
so
like
dope.
yeah, it like instilled in me that this is how it has to be. It always has to be off top. And if you've seen dudes off top like Open Mike Eagle or Supernatural or some of those dudes like who just came from like what like hip hop was meant to be, it represents itself in such a different light when you could see someone's really just processing in the moment versus somebody spitting something that's recycled in another form.
Yeah, definitely.
It's almost blatantly obvious sometimes too.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, for sure.
It's almost rare to get a freestyle that's an actual freestyle. These
Yeah.
days. I try to, like, what's that dude's name? King Los? I don't know. There's just certain freestyles out there that it's just one of those things. I feel like everyone does that. Like we're saying, like, are you insecure to say you're a rapper? It's just so funny listening to kids like freestyle. Like I've been at parties and kids like they freestyle like the best verse they've ever written in their life. I don't want to be associated in the circle right now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's when you call them out. That's when you call them out.
I call them out and I rhyme the whole thing at the same time, and then I start signing autographs, dude. You know what I mean? No,
no, I remember there was a show. Damn, I forgot the name of the venue, but it was on our street before Ace of Spades was there, and we were doing a show with Mims, and one of the guys went up and he spit a totally recycled verse, and it made me so mad. And I really like the guy too, so I'm not gonna say his name, but like, you know, I think there's a certain like understanding that you have to have as an artist and someone who calls himself an MC, that you're going to hold yourself to the standard of truly being off the top if you're saying it's off the top. And like it's disrespectful to me. It's like it goes against the art, it goes against the code of what an MC is, and like you got to call that out. Like I'm a pacifist, but man, don't fraudulently claim something that's not.
I'm a pacifist too, dude. If you're spitting written shit, I'll pass my fist to your face. You know what I mean? I just think I don't know. I mean, you guys are older, but I'm like an old soul where I gravitate towards the older shit, the real hip hop. I just think that a lot of the kids my age are super into the littles and the youngs and it makes me sad because it's
popular right now, right?
I feel like it's been popular for too long now. I feel like at first I thought it was gonna be a wave, like just a phase that goes by, but I feel like it's still there, and it's just I just respect and I like to associate myself and talk to people like this podcast right now, where people can mention little brother. When someone says little brother or something like that, I'm just like, oh, finally, like I can, there's still people out there that do respect the golden era of hip hop, you know what I mean?
And like DJB was saying too, that like, like with Griselda and these type of artists, I feel like there is going to be like another resurgence of that, where it's going to come back full circle, and like that is going to become more popular again, that type of that vibe, that lyrical, like, coming looking for that lyrical substance, you know what I mean, where it's not just like mumble rapping over like a really hard beat. It's like, no, there's actual substance and meaning behind that song,
I guess my last question to wrap it up, you were talking about battling. Did you battle rap?
Yeah, but I was all audio, so I never battle rap live, and like the only reason why, like, it wasn't I was worried about my bars or my ability to deliver. It's because I can't memorize my own lyrics. That's the only reason. I actually had a battle where Mike Jordan, shout out Mike Jordan, man. I don't think he's rapping anymore.
Shout out to Mike Jordan.
But he was on Tribe of Levi, who was part of oh man, what was that called? What was their group called?
Their crew, yeah.
CPR.
I'm blanking on it now too.
It was, but Monty Bush was part of that, dude. Tribe of Levi was dope. Poor was my favorite rapper of the group, but Mike Jordan off the top.
Majesty.
Mike Jordan off the top was one of my favorite rappers of all time. I secretly idolized him. I had a battle set up against him actually the same week that Task One and Monty Bush were battling against each other at Blue Lamp, and I backed out because I knew I couldn't memorize things, but I really wanted to see Mike Jordan. I wanted that so bad, but I knew
that would have been really interesting.
He probably would have eviscerated me, but but I wanted to do it. I just knew I didn't have the ability to memorize rhymes. So all my my battles were audio. They were recorded. But I battled some cool dudes, and I learned a lot about how to write and how to research, because so much of battle rap is predicated on the research that you do about the dude and how to personalize it, because anybody could come up with 80 misogynistic, homophobic bars and call him a little female in so many ways, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
And for me, that got old, and like that's not what I'm about, anyways. Especially with so many kids I serve in the LGBT community, like I don't want to do that anymore. But I still want to just let everybody know I'm better than them, even if I'm not. I'm gonna pretend I am.
Yeah, definitely. No, for sure.
Exactly, man. Well, yeah, man, we don't want to take up any more of your time. It's late. I know. We appreciate you talking to us and talking to us about the record. Was there anything else you want to close out on? Or again, yeah, give a shout out to Equal Eyes Records, where you can find them at, and where they can find your music and everything, and any of your like social media platforms we can hit you up on.
Shout out Still Dope, by the way. That's my favorite song on that record. That shit is fire, dude.
Still Dope is hard.
Yeah. And I would let you know you suck too, but you don't suck, dude. You get it right. Still Dope, check it out. Finally good.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I don't have anything to say other than I'm really grateful and humbled that you guys would have me on, and I'm so thankful for everybody who clicked play or even just thought about clicking play at one time. Jay-Z said it in H to the Izzo, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're choosing to be with me right now. And that's something that's always stuck with me and resonated. Like, man, we have so many choices to do whatever we want, and anybody who takes the time just to give it a shot means the world to me. So thank you guys. Thank you, Equalize. Thank you, Precise MC, for sticking by me, my beautiful wife, and my lovely children.
Shout out.
Excellent, man. And thank you to you again for being on here. And we just wish you a lot of success with the record, man, because it's really great and you deserve it.
I'm about to hit you that follow on SoundCloud. I got you, dog.
All right. Hey, and if you guys ever want to work, let's make music together, man. That's what this is all about.
Absolutely. Let's do it, man.
Dude, we can do a whole project in a week. I'm down. Let's make it happen.
Dude, we're there. Sure. Let's rock it.
Yeah.
I want to get on the podcast again. Let's do it.
Yeah, definitely. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, for sure, man. Anytime you guys want. Let's just talk rap. There's not enough of that.
Yeah. More portions of course, the force of the speaker, like portions with geek and the source for floorboards getting
all right, for sure. Peace, guys.
More of a menace, dark thoughts imported like Guinness, cold flows, polar and frigid, more local than engines. Spitting that steam, rolling on tracks, mobile with raps with vocals that act driven but different. Listen.